Hello everyone. Update for May 2022. I worked on the Illinois State University campus. I've added streets and lights, traffic lights and street lights, and I've added the normal public library, some railroad crossings, and I've lit up the bar district so people can see where they're going. But I've worked on this section here that I added on to. It's looking pretty good. The railroad grade crossings have flashing lights. One of them has gates, but I don't have the solenoid motors and the circuit boards to operate those yet, but I can in time. In the meantime, I have them on and off switches until I have IR sensors. But this section of the layout looks pretty good, so let's take a look at it and let's see what I've done. And I know it looks like a mess, but this is my paint booth. I'm using it as a staging area for the electronics right now. I got a master compressor, I've got a master airbrush, I've got a Pache Talon airbrush, which is the best. It's just so smooth. Got all my electronics laid out here. You can see where I'm painting myself in SW14 and HO scale on my central gulf. Here's the packets of highway lights and traffic signals and connectors and the railroad crossing gates, everything that I'm using right now. So this is kind of the area where I work in. This is where I paint Tony's engines and cars. I have 3 IC hoppers I need to paint ICG for him soon, so I'll be working on that. So that's kind of the work area. A little messy, but those boxes there and the boxes immediately on the other side are all full of rolling stock that I didn't have room for. So yeah, you never get enough of them. So let's move on. I've also added streets and some parking area. You can see here where I have College Avenue and Beaufort Street intersecting, and then eventually the road will actually go all through the layout, and it'll turn from Linden to McClung to Morrissey Drive and go all the way through town. I have street lights in here in the bar district so the patrons can see to get to their cars at the end of the night. I do have some crossings completed. This is one just has the flashers because it's the IC line, and all there was flashers. There wasn't any gates in the downtown area. There's the normal public library. I created the sign. I put an LED inside of it, and that's a pretty neat building kit. It's got the copper type windows on it. I lit up the front door. And see, I put parking along with it. I put sidewalks in. I've got the traffic lights. This is one way this way, and then this is a two-way fell street right here that goes all the way through. You can see that it turns into two-lane. It goes across the GM&O tracks, and I've got gates, and the gates are down. They flash, but the gates are down all the time until I put the servos and motors and the IR sensors to properly operate it. I do have the railroad signals. I've got the green lights operating now, so I'll show you that. I do have one of the towers lit up with some fluorescent lighting inside. Looks pretty good at night. I can see where I put the lighting in here. I've got the basketball court right here, which I'm going to eventually put the fence and the bushes around to separate it. Of course, you can see where I have the Illinois State campus, and of course the railroad does go on the south side of the campus in real life. Not probably that quite that close, but you know, with space limitations, do what I can. So that's what it looks like. That's the cafeteria, which is now the recreational center. They turn the cafeteria because they have a larger cafeteria down at Waterson Towers, and they use it for all the campuses there in that immediate area. This is the what they call the East Campus. So you can see where the crossing. The one thing I did is I discovered making the crossings, I started using wood shims. I'm at Menards, Home Depot, Lowe's, and you can see where I'm getting ready to build the next crossing right here. But I use them, and they're already the shims, so they're already at the angles. I just cut them to form, and then as you can see on this one here, I went ahead and put the wood in for the actual crossing plates, and I used the shims to run up to it, and it worked really well. So that's what I'm going to use for my crossings, because it has a gradual grade to it. It's not a real steep grade. It's gradual. It looks pretty good. You put the bush road right over the top of it. So we'll turn some lights out here, and we'll let you see how things look. Okay, we'll go across town here. Of course, there's the airport again. Lit up at night. The airport. Got the power station and the ball field lighting up at the end down here on Ireland Grove Roads, coming around. Chuck's Harley Davidson. The south side of town there with the intersection, which will be lit up pretty soon. With the 4 dealerships come through Towanda. And over here we're going to roll into Normal. You can see that I have the bar district lit up now. It comes down here to the corner where the roads come together, and then it'll go across the railroad crossing and go on through town. So when it's all lit up, it should look pretty neat. That's the Banner Bread Company, the Apple Tree Stereo and Records, the Gallery, where we all used to, it's one of our favorite watering holes, Kosher Chuck's Delicatessen, and Josie's, which was a great college place. But we have all that lit up now. And you can see where there's a little bit of angle parking. I'm going to have to put the lines on there. As you can see here, I've got the operating lights now at the crossings. These are these Chinese lights, and they look pretty good. You can see looking down the road, it kind of gives a little realistic appeal. And there's the Normal Public Library. The sign looks white because it's really bright, but you saw it before. And there's inside, right inside the front door of the library. There's the crossings. These 2 crossings here are synced together because it's the same. You can see here where I have one of the towers lit. That would be Manchester Hall, no dormitory. You can see that I've got all the traffic lights all lit up, and I've got both intersections synced together, so they're green and red accordingly. So when you're going down Fell Street here, you either stop and then go, and then both of them will be go. You see here where I've got the GM&O's getting ready to cross. I've got the gates, and you can see that the lights are flashing properly, but the gates will eventually get the IR sensors and the motors. And there's 3 circuit boards. There's sound too. There's a speaker that goes with it. I've got those in there. So there's a sound board, there's a speaker, there's a control board, there's a flasher board, and then the control board has the IR sensors on it. So the 3 boards together will control everything, including having the signal sounds. It's going to be pretty neat. You see that everything's green to come through, so the cantilevers are lit up now. You can see it's going through campus. And I'm going to block out some of the windows. Actually, I'm going to make some of them dark. Some of them I'm going to try to have pictures where it looks like something inside, so it'll look a little more realistic. Coming down here, you can see where there's the Illinois State University crossing. Goes from one side from the student union over to the main campus. The basketball hoops, those are usually pretty busy during the fall and the spring. You can see that, and also it's kind of neat is when you're looking at it like this, even though that's the end of the table over there, you can see the other side, and it still looks pretty neat. It looks like the rest of the part of town when you're in this view, so it's kind of neat. And then over here comes through, we've got it all lit up. Get the trees. Schrader Hall. And of course, there's the view right there. So it's got a pretty good look to it. So, and of course, there's the yard, Steak and Shake, all the rest of it, all as usual. The radio tower over there. I've got a new radio tower. I've got a 3D printed a Rome tower, which is actually the real tower. So the Bush tower is neat. I mean, it works well, but this is the actual triangular Rome tower, and I've got a HO scale 280 feet worth of tower. So I'm going to paint it and put it together and put 2 flashing red lights in it. So, but that's what I'm working on so far. This is what I've got done. I'll start putting the roads down through here. But I'm going to have some traffic lights here too. So, running out of traffic lights. I'm using a lot of them. So, but the guy, David at We Honest in California, and of course a lot of it ships from his China supplier, but very reasonable. These gates right here are $24 a pair, and then of course you got to buy the boards to do an entire section with sound, with IR sensors, and lighting. And you're probably looking at about $75 to do an intersection or do a crossing like that with full sound, which is not too bad. $75-$80. But it's We Honest on eBay. So he's very dependable, and I've never had anything fail that he sent me. So it's quality product at a very reasonable price. Of course, I know the labor is cheaper, but they do a good job. And it's hard to find this stuff anymore. I mean, NJ International, it's hard to find things from them anymore. So these work well. So I'll try to put a link on the video of where to get to We Honest on eBay and some of these items if you're interested. And it's looking good. So I wanted to show it to you. I'll get another update for you as I keep adding lighting and more things. I have to light up the other tower. So that's where I'm at so far. So appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. Thank you all, everybody that subscribed from Redbird Tony's show the other night. I appreciate that. I'm at 99. So if I get one more, I think I'll have a contest. I'll have an in scale winner and an HO scale winner. So I'll let you know. So I'll be talking to you sooner than later. So y'all take care. Bye.